Have you ever started a mystery movie and slowly realized something is seriously wrong? Not because of a big twist, not because of a loud scene, but because every minute feels more uncomfortable than the last. Today, I'm bringing you 9 disturbing mystery movies that play with your mind, hide their secrets carefully, and stay with you long after they end. These are not the same obvious picks you see everywhere. So if you want something darker, stranger, and harder to forget, let's begin. Number 1. Caché. What if someone started recording your house from the outside and sending the tapes back to you? Caché follows a wealthy Parisian couple whose quiet life begins to fall apart after they receive anonymous videotapes of their own home. At first, the recordings show almost nothing, but every new tape feels like a warning from someone who knows more than they should. The mystery slowly turns into something deeper than surveillance. It becomes a story about guilt, memory, and a buried past that refuses to stay hidden. What makes Caché so gripping is how controlled it feels. It never rushes, never explains too much, and never gives you the comfort of easy answers. If you want a mystery that makes paranoia feel quiet, cold, and personal, this is a perfect place to start. Number 2. Dogtooth. Imagine growing up in a house where your parents control not just where you go, but what reality even means. Dogtooth follows 3 adult children who have been completely isolated from the outside world by their parents. They don't know how real society works. They don't understand normal language the way we do. Even simple words are given fake meanings, so the world inside the house becomes the only truth they know. And that is what makes the film so disturbing. It doesn't feel like a normal mystery where you're waiting for a detective to solve something. The mystery is the family itself. Why are the parents doing this? How long has it been going on? And what happens when one of the children starts sensing that something outside might exist? What makes Dogtooth so hard to look away from is how calm and controlled everything feels, even when the situation is completely insane. If you want a mystery that feels strange, uncomfortable, and unlike almost anything else, Dogtooth is one of those films you don't forget easily. Number 3. A Tale of Two Sisters. What if the scariest thing in a haunted house story was not the house, but the family living inside it? A Tale of Two Sisters follows 2 sisters who return home after a stay in a mental hospital, only to find their house filled with tension, silence, and a deeply uncomfortable relationship with their stepmother. At first, it feels like a ghost story. Strange noises, disturbing images, and a home that never feels safe. But the real mystery slowly becomes more emotional and more painful. What happened to this family? What is being hidden? And why does every character seem to be carrying a different version of the truth? What makes the film so gripping is the way it keeps shifting under your feet. Just when you think you understand what kind of story you're watching, it pulls you into something sadder, darker, and much more personal. If you want a mystery with atmosphere, trauma, and a twist that actually stays with you, A Tale of Two Sisters is a beautiful nightmare. Number 4. Timecrimes. What if the worst thing you could do after making a mistake was trying to fix it? Timecrimes follows an ordinary man who notices something strange through his binoculars and decides to investigate. That one small decision pulls him into a confusing chain of events involving a mysterious figure, a woman in the woods, and a time travel experiment he never should have touched. The beauty of Timecrimes is that it starts with a simple question and keeps making the situation worse. Every answer creates another problem. Every solution creates another version of the same nightmare. This is not a huge sci-fi movie with massive effects. It is small, smart, and tightly built. The tension comes from watching one man slowly realize that the trap around him might be partly his own fault. If you like mystery films where every detail matters and the story keeps folding back on itself, Timecrimes is a clever, addictive ride. Number 5. The Call. What if one phone call could connect you to the past, and one wrong choice could destroy your future? The Call follows a young woman who returns to her old family home and receives a strange phone call from another woman living in the same house, but in a different time. At first, the connection feels impossible. Then it becomes exciting. Maybe the past can be changed. Maybe old tragedies can be undone. But this is where the film gets dangerous. Every change creates consequences, and the person on the other end of the line may not be who she first appears to be. What makes The Call so watchable is how quickly it turns a simple idea into a tense psychological game. The mystery is not just about how the phone connection works. It is about how much damage 2 people can do when they start playing with time. If you want a mystery thriller that moves fast, keeps twisting, and never lets the phone feel safe again, The Call is a strong pick. Number 6. Marcy, May, Marlene. What if escaping from something terrible was only the beginning of the nightmare? Marcy, May, Marlene follows a young woman who runs away from a mysterious cult and tries to rebuild her life with her sister. But she cannot fully explain what happened to her. She cannot fully relax. And even in a normal home, surrounded by people who want to help, she still feels trapped by the world she escaped from. The film slowly moves between her present and her memories, giving you pieces of the truth without ever making it feel simple. You start to understand how control, fear, and manipulation can change change the way someone sees everything around them. What makes this film so unsettling is how quiet it is. It does not need big reveals or dramatic music. The tension comes from Martha herself, from the way she watches people, reacts to normal situations, and slowly makes you wonder if the danger is really gone. If you want a psychological mystery that feels intimate, fragile, and deeply uncomfortable, Marcy May Marlene is a haunting experience. Number 7. Audition. What if the person you were trying to fall in love with was hiding something you were never ready to discover? Audition begins with a lonely widower who wants to find a new partner. Instead of meeting someone naturally, he takes part in a fake audition process designed to help him choose a woman. That is where he meets Asami, a quiet and mysterious young woman who immediately catches his attention. At first, the film feels almost gentle. Slow, calm, maybe even romantic. But underneath that silence, something feels wrong. The more we learn about Asami, the more the film starts turning into something darker and much harder to predict. What makes Audition so powerful is the way it changes shape. It does not rush to scare you. It lets you get comfortable first, then slowly makes that comfort feel like a mistake. If you want a mystery that begins quietly and ends up crawling under your skin, Audition is one of the most unforgettable films on this list. Number 8. The Experiment. What if a simple social experiment became a prison you could not escape? The experiment follows a group of ordinary men who agree to take part in a paid psychological study. Some of them are assigned to act as prisoners, while others are assigned to act as guards. At first, everyone understands that it is only a role. There are rules, cameras, and people supposedly watching from the outside. But power changes people fast. As the experiment continues, the guards become more aggressive, the prisoners become more desperate, and the line between performance and real violence begins to disappear. The mystery here is not about a hidden killer or a secret clue. It is about human behavior. How quickly can ordinary people become cruel when they are given authority? And how long can a controlled environment stay controlled? If you want a psychological thriller that feels tense, claustrophobic, and disturbingly believable, The Experiment is a brutal watch. Number 9. Borgman. What if a stranger entered your life so quietly, you did not realize he was destroying it until it was too late? Borgman begins with a mysterious man who appears outside a wealthy family's home and asks for help. At first, he seems like someone on the margins of society. Strange, uncomfortable, but maybe harmless. But once he gets close to the family, everything starts to shift. He does not attack them in an obvious way. He slips into their routines, their relationships, their private spaces. Slowly, the home becomes infected by his presence. What makes Borgman so fascinating is how little it explains. You are never completely sure who this man is, what he wants, or whether the film is psychological, symbolic, or something almost supernatural. The mystery works because the movie keeps you off balance. Every scene feels like it means something, but the meaning keeps moving away from you. If you want a strange, dark, and deeply unpredictable mystery, Borgman is the kind of film that leaves you disturbed without fully telling you why. And that was my list of 9 disturbing mystery movies that play with your mind in very different ways. Some are slow and quiet. Some are strange and uncomfortable. Some feel like puzzles. And some feel like nightmares you cannot fully explain. But all of them have one thing in common. They do not give you an easy way out. If you have already seen any of these films, let me know which one stayed with you the most. And if you know another dark mystery movie that deserves more attention, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next list.